Hi, good morning. Good morning, everyone. Good morning, Yuri. How are you?
Good
Morning, Fatma.
afternoon. Good. How are you?
Good afternoon.
It's
So
afternoon in
let's
their time
wait.
zone.
Let's see. Somebody will join. Let's see, attendees. Fatma, it's going live on LinkedIn, right?
Yes, that's what I'm looking at now.
Yeah, we can see hands.
Mhm.
Okay. So let's start our webinar today. Very interesting topic: how to manage digital footprint by SharePass, and just to give us a brief about the solution, since I'm also very excited to see the demo of this solution. And the very critical topic nowadays is sensitive information in this digital age, which we are sharing um, with each other. And of course, there are a lot of tools and there are a lot of mechanisms. There are personal identifier information, data privacy, and all those concerns. But we want to see a tool where mechanism where when we are sharing our personal information, it should be encrypted, it should be secure, it should be in a way where uh, everything is, let's say, secure end to end. It's an end to end encryption kind of thing. SharePass is a solution where Mr. Yuri will explain about how this tool will work and in the end user. Whenever you are sharing your personal information, it should go via SharePass. Don't share like that. Share via SharePass. That's what I'll say. So I will not take much time. Mr. Yuri, it's the platform will be on you. And can you just brief about this solution, your tool, your company, and then we can start the demo.
Sure, sounds good. Hello, everybody. Thank you for joining the session. So I'll start by giving you some general information about what is digital footprint, and we'll slowly also get into the more fine details into how you can protect that information and how you can do better work by using SharePass. Mohan, can you confirm, please, we can see the screen?
Yes, yes, we can see the
Yes,
screen.
we can, Yuri.
That's cool. Thank you very much. So I'll start by a little bit about myself. So family man above all, married plus two kids. I'm a co-founder of SharePass with another two co-founders, as you can see on the image here on the screen. On the left of me is Mauro, who is the COO, and the right of me, the CTO. Name is Luciano. I'm also a CEO of an operator of an MSP based in Australia, Melbourne, for the past 15 years, assisting clients with digital transformation, cloud, user and service management, and basically IT infrastructure management. And also a JISEC partner to help Australian businesses to expand into UAE. So what is digital footprint? So think of everyday actions that you do, whether if it's sharing information over your text, email, or any other platform that you're using these days. That could be WhatsApp, that could be SMS, that could be email, or any other chatting platform. And I'm specifically talking about information which is PII, so personal identifiable information. Now that could be password, that could be address, that could be phone number, that could be some client information, that could be a file, that could be anything which you consider private. There could be a code. So anything that you leave behind you is a digital footprint. So if I shared, for example, a password over SMS, then that password arrived to the other side. And now after that password has been received, it still remains on my part and on the receiver. So basically on both sender and receiver. So just to show you a little bit in more detail, so here's the problem and just a couple of examples. So just a typical email and with a medical record attached, for example. Now, after that's being sent and received by the user, that remains in the email system, and it's essentially called digital footprint. Another example, another example. So, for example, and people still do that. I've seen it with my own eyes, sharing even credit card information that happens in companies where there are 2 credit cards and they sometimes need to be shared across departments. So those are being shared in chat. Now, problem is after it's being used, it remains there. So if that system that contains that information will ever be hacked, that information is quite easy to pick up because it's clear text. And so forth. Again, passport details, and it could be just a typical email. And I've seen multiple of those emails where people still sharing passwords. And I understand why, because sometimes we prefer convenience over security because we just need to get work done. We can't always think about all the risks and everything. We just sometimes need to get work done. So what's the possible solution we're proposing? So SharePass, when we have 2 methods. One is we can send encrypted information, and the other one is we can also receive. Now, the way it works, and I'll show you a quick video. So this is your typical SMS. Hello, Charles, please find your password. And that happens quite a lot. People want to do it quickly and easy. Not everybody, unfortunately, use password managers. And even if they do, they need to share it sometimes outside of the platform. So it opens in the form of a keyboard. You can mark the password or whatever word you want to protect. And you can press the SharePass button, and that will immediately encrypt that piece of information. So the context of the information will remain. So as you can see, the SMS will remain the same, but it will encrypt the password itself. And then the receiver, that's what we see on the receiver side, the receiver can reveal that information. And once that's being done, that link, it's gone. It's no longer can be used. And by that, basically, you destroy the digital footprint. So essentially, you send the information, the receiver received it, you get notification you received it, and that information is no longer accessible. Now let's move to the other part. Let's say, for example, I sometimes want to collect confidential data, and I want to collect it from one of my clients. Now, I don't want to go to the length of explaining the client of how to do it, how to use it, how to use SharePass. Not everybody want to do it, and people still want to keep it simple. So what I can do is I can send them a SharePass link, which is called, we call it an envelope. And what an envelope does, you send it, and essentially it's an empty link. So if we can see in the video below, again, that's the portal. You choose what you want to collect. In that case, we want to collect a certain password. You leave a note. You set up different settings on which I'm going to talk in a few minutes. And that link you can send to the client. Now, the moment the client opens it, it looks like an envelope, and the client can essentially open it and put whatever password he wants to share with us. And all the client needs to do is open that link. It just click SharePass. That's it. No further actions required. And then we receive it in our portal, and we can open that envelope, and we can collect the information that we want. And again, same thing here. In that action, no digital footprint exists because end-to-end, we sent it, we received it, and then the password does not remain as a digital footprint on none of the platforms, not chat, not email, none of the others. Now, talking about kind of the size of the risk. So if, let's say, we take a company and we have in the company 1 employee, 2 or few, do it every day. So along, a month, 2-3 months, or a while, suddenly it can accumulate and become a much larger risk. And we've already seen attacks, and we've already seen the database exposed because of exactly because of that. So data was scraped using people hacked into Teams, or the computer was unlocked, and the passwords were just sitting there. So it's quite common. Now, talking a little bit about security and controls that we implement to make sure that it's granular and the user can apply any level of access. So when you send in those encrypted links, you can limit them based on number of factors. Number one, you can link it based on IP. So if you, for example, know the IP of your client, or you have a client with number of branches, you can limit it specifically to those IPs. And then anything that's outside of those IPs, they won't be able to open the link. So that's one way of restricting that. Another way you can restrict is by using availability. And availability, you can say, I want the link to be accessible now, or I want the link to be accessible next week, next month, or a specific time between 2 and 4. And you can do that. That will specifically might be useful for HR, where people recruit, and sometimes you recruit in a batch, and the IT creates that access, the same day. But each employee may be starting in a different date. So you don't really want them to have any level of access until a certain date. So what you can do is you can send a SharePass link, and that link will include credentials or whatever instructions or files or anything that is relevant for that future employee. And that will only become relevant at the time that you will specify. Authorization. So we fully integrated with a system called YubiKeys. YubiKeys are security keys. So it's basically a physical USB key, either with a fingerprint or with an NFC reader. And what you can do, you can also, on top of having that encrypted link, you can also include on that link a YubiKey. And then to authorize or to open that link, you must have that YubiKey to tap on it or to scan it on your phone. So that's another layer. And again, that part, we kind of allow the clients to decide. So whatever companies, whoever is responsible for the security, whether if it's the CISO, whether it's the IT manager, they will decide what level of policy and what level of restrictions they want to do. For example, another way, email. So again, email authorization, you will receive a code, and with that, or for example, only if you are the owner of that email, you'll be able to open it. And again, last option, you can also send it by default locked, and manually as a sender, you can unlock that secret. Now, all of this method, we called it the security funnel. And what the security funnel allows, it allows kind of each layer is more general, and as you go down, it becomes more and more specific. So these are the layers that you can include when you're limiting essentially who opens that secret. So you can just send the link as it is, as we call it naked link, and apply no restrictions on it. Now, is it the most secure way? It's definitely not, but it's definitely better than sending clear text confidential data across SMS and chat, Teams, email, and those sorts of platforms. So you can decide validity. So when is it valid? If the secret exists, then, and like I showed previously, visibility addresses more to when secret exists in the database. Accessibility is who is basically set up to access that link, and you can decide it by, for example, email addresses, IPs. Authorization, as you can see, we can authorize based on SMS, we can authorize based on security keys, or we can authorize based on email authorization, and so forth. Now, looking ahead and kind of like where are we going with the solution? So a couple of things we've already implemented and a few kind of things that I want to share with you what we're going to implement. So we've already post-quantum encryption enabled, so which means that we have a post-quantum encryption protocol, which means that we already protected against collect now, decrypt later attacks, or harvest now, decrypt later attacks. Which is what these days a lot of hackers do. They will collect your information, whether if it's your, I don't know, a file they managed to collect and it has password protection, or any one of other encryption methods, and they will keep it until they will have the right technology to decrypt it. And the main weakness today is with AES encryption, especially key exchange. So that's already a vulnerability. Now, to address that, we implemented in the very early stage a post-quantum encryption protocol. So we already covered that part. We're looking to implement Teams add-on to basically be a native Teams integration. We already support iOS, we support Android. So basically you can have you can be quite comfortable with just texting it from your phone directly. And it doesn't matter which app. It can, like I said previously, you can text from within WhatsApp and then pop the SharePass keyboard and share it this way. We integrate with browsers already, so similar to what I just explained in mobile. You can do the same with the browser. So if you write in an email, that's already a built-in function. You can. We're also working on doing something similar with voice, where you can, even if you speak something which is confidential, that's being detected and converted to encrypted data. Geolocation, and as I showed you already, we do support IPs, but we want to, we aiming to restrict it based on, for example, certain geographical areas. So I want to send a secret to US, and that will be controlled or be enabled to open only in US. Now, I know you can go around it with VPN and those sorts of things, but again, that's just another mechanism to, restrict further and basically apply stronger security. Biometrics, again, looking to apply face recognition and other ways of biometrics to kind of basically to become a solution which is completely passwordless. Because we ourselves, we do want to get out of the space of passwords, and this is why I'm also kind of really important to note here that it's not only for password sharing, even though it's one of the use cases. That's not the main use case, because slowly the industry is trying to go passwordless. Now, even though passwords, in my opinion, will remain here forever, it is still something to consider for us. And one more thing that we're looking to implement is whistleblower functionality, basically to allow companies to deploy a solution which is anonymous solution for users to report, again, different types of complaints and other public concerns. Now, what else I want to discuss about is basically how does SharePass work? So, as I said, mobile app is one of the options. Portal is another option for you to use and integrated by the browser. We have specific solutions for MSPs. We have a solution which is aimed more at enterprise. We run the service runs fully on AWS, Amazon, and we're looking to deploy it as well as an option for on-prem for users who want to deploy it on their own infrastructure. That is also on the cards. And please feel free, if you're interested, to explore a little bit more about the enterprise platform that's called SharePass One, or you can register for the Pro and explore the platform for the MSP. We also, by the way, have another option which is free. Again, that is limited only to personal private emails. So yeah, you can register, you can have the functionality already built in. That includes the mobile app, and you can try it for yourself. Thank you. And now I'll leave some time for questions, and we'll proceed from there.
Thank you so much, Yuri, for that very insightful session. Now we go to our Q&A session. There are few questions that were posted. One from Mr. Michael Walker. He'd like to know, do you wipe user data from your system after the link is read?
Yes. So there are two policies on the Amazon backend, on the database. And one of the policies says immediate, and one of the policies says within 8 hours from the function. So the moment we gave the go-ahead to delete that information, and when essentially does the delete happen? So if you send a certain information, I received it as a receiver, and I've already opened it, and your instruction was to essentially remove that information after the first opening, then what we will do is we will, the moment the function of the deletion will be triggered, that will be deleted. And again, two options, and those ones we will discuss with the client. One basically says immediate, and one says 8 hours, because that's just an Amazon type of process. So, but yeah, we delete the data, and just important to mention, we don't have access to that data. So at no point in time we have access to the data. the keys, the decryption keys, are on the front end. So we never receive the keys. We never own it.
Great, thank you so much. Another one is SharePass compliant with data protection regulations such as GDPR or other regulations?
Yeah, so we worked with a number of agencies to comply with all GDPR regulations, to comply with privacy regulations. Apart from the fact that Amazon by itself as a platform already addresses many of those. We address those. We go through annual security testing. We go through penetration testing, security audits. Look, being a cybersecurity solution, it's kind of one of the key points for us.
Perfect. Let me see on our LinkedIn Live if there is any questions. And there is one more, actually two. We have from Miss Sumaya Esat. Can SharePass help detect if my information is already exposed online?
So if the information is already exposed online, that's kind of, we are a solution that focuses on prevention, at least at this stage. So we are looking to prevent exactly those incidents. Now, once the information is online, that becomes basically a long hunt to try and remove it, because number one, we don't have the control of whoever hosts it, and not only us, but generally no one. So once that has been exposed, that's a little bit too late. And this is exactly why we released that solution, because we don't want to get to that point. What we want to do is we want to provide the users the ability to share using the existing tools, using the tools that they're already using on a daily basis. Because we all want to use something which is easy, quick to use. We don't necessarily want to use complicated platforms all the time. We just want sometimes the easy way. So we're saying, okay, no problem. Keep on using the ways you're using, but just apply an extra layer of simply encrypt the specific information, whether if it's like I said, passwords or anything identifiable, and that will prevent these type of exposures.
Thank you very much for that answer. And one more question from Mr. Frank Q. Do you also support like BYOK methods?
Bring your own. What is the K?
Yeah, Mr. Frank Q, can you bring your own key, probably?
BYOK. Need to Google that.
Yeah. Hold on.
Bring your own key.
Yeah, bring your key. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So if you are working with YubiKeys and you already have them deployed within your systems, by all means, yes. What you can do is you can register them in SharePass. You can register them physically. So if you physically have them, or you can register them remotely. So we have a facility to register those keys remotely. So even if you already have them and you're, for example, multinational company, the administrators will be able to register those keys. And then through the admin portal, also, you would be able to also assign those keys as part of templates. So what it means is you can create it's basically like a bulk key import and apply them to the relevant template. So short answer is definitely yes.
A follow-up question. Following up on the previous question, then, can you support any quantum encryption method as well?
Yeah, so we're already supporting quantum encryption, and that's more relevant for, again, because I explained we have two methods. One is sending, one is receiving. I'm talking more about the receiving one, and because it uses asymmetric key, and that's where basically key exchange is happening. We already deployed the quantum encryption. Now, question is, do we support quantum encryption protocols that you are bringing, or like out of the box? Out of the box, yes, we do support. If you bring your own, if you have your own prepared encryption, yes, we can deploy it as well.
Amazing. Thank you so much, Yuri. Um, there's still a few minutes left for the Q&A. If anyone from the audience would like to raise their questions or anything, anyone would be interested to learn more about how to manage your digital footprint and ask that straight away with Yuri, you can raise the questions on the uh, questions area. And here is a really relevant question right now from Mohammed Siddiqui. What is your preparation for JISEC?
So JISEC is a conference run in UAE, in Dubai. This is the second year in a row we taking part in that conference. I believe it's the largest second in the world after RSA. Previous year we were presenting as a startup. This year we're presenting also as a startup, but this year we're presenting in the Australian pavilion. So that's major news for us in Australia. We have about last time I checked, 11 companies coming on board. So 11 companies from Australia will be presenting in Dubai, putting us more on the map, putting the Australian cyber talent on the map. We have a lot to offer here. Yeah, going to be very exciting this year.
I am sure it's going to be absolutely massive and it's going to be absolutely exciting for everyone. Even Cyberways, we are also exhibiting. And yeah, could you tell the audience where they can find you in JISEC? You will be in Australian Pavilion, right?
So in just Australian Pavilion, hall number 3. Again, you will see me there. SharePass is there. So hall number 3.
And they can book meetings with you. They can book meetings with you. They can pass by your or they can visit your booth in JISEC. And the JISEC app, they can reach out to you and book meetings and chat with you there as well.
Yeah, so, please come visit us.
Great. Ali?
Yeah, thank you so much. And thank you, everyone. Thank you, Yuri. It was such an awesome presentation. And I think this tool has a lot of potential. And we all are very excited. So as for the audience, to be hosting you at JISEC also and to meet you personally once you will be in Dubai. And of course, we are looking more collaboration with Cyberways and SharePass to move forward in this region. And thank you so much. It's a really nice presentation. And
thank you, everybody.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you so much and have a great day.
Have a good day.